been given the opportunity to give a persuasive speech today. Since my audience is mainly children and adults, what I want to talk about and hopefully convince you to do is to cut back on the sugar intake. Because we all know it is not healthy, right? But a lot of the foods that we like and that we enjoy, a lot of the drinks that we like and enjoy, really are not good for us. But it's not, I don't want to stand here and say, be hypocritical and say, well, don't eat any of it, because I know that's not realistic. Even I am very health cautious, but I still sometimes have those days where you want and you crave things that are not good for us. But what I want to do is just not completely say, okay, cut out all your favorite foods and drinks, but to try to limit when you are indulging in these foods and drinks, and to also be more mindful of what you are putting into your body. So I mainly want to get you to be careful on what you consume, because there are so many effects that sugar has in our body. So I kind of want to go over some of those, and not to give you a lot of scientific information, but just to give you real effects, real information on what happens. Next!
Mételo al cuarto y cierra la puerta. Ya lo voy a apagar.
Hello, I have been given the opportunity to give a persuasive speech today. Since my audience consists of mainly children and adults, what I want to talk about is how to help you to consume less sugar. Some of my audience that I have researched on, and because they are my family, I know that are diabetic. And diabetes is something that runs in my family. So it's really important for me to share some of the information that I've gathered for you, that way you know why it is important to limit your sugar intake. And I don't want to stand up here and convince you to completely cut these things out of your diet. I know a lot of us enjoy some sweets, and the drinks that we have, a lot of it out there has so much sugar. And I cannot be hypocritical and say, well, completely cut it out, because I know that is close to impossible. But what we can do is be more mindful and be more educated as to what we are putting into our bodies. A lot of what we put in our body has an effect. So sugar is one of those things that we don't want to play around with. We don't want to, let's see what happens if I consume so much sugar. So today what I would like to do is just to give you some information, and hopefully we together can be more careful on what we consume, how much sugar we're consuming, and I want to focus on the why. In addition to, like I said before, some of us are diabetic or are pre-diabetic, it's important for us to really care for each other and help each other out in knowing that some of these foods and sugars are not good for us. So without taking an if-then approach, so for example, if you don't cut out sugars, then you're gonna die. What I would like to do is just give you some facts, health-related illnesses and diseases that I have found and heard of, and I've researched. A lot of this information comes from a very credible source, of course. I'm not just going to give you information and exaggerate any of it, because it's unethical, right? But what I went on is on the American Heart Association page, where they have a lot of good information to keep our heart healthy. There is a risk of diabetes when you consume a lot of sugar, even if you're not prone to diabetes like in our family. Also, there's a risk of dying of heart disease. So it's not good for your heart when you consume so much sugar. There's, of course, weight gain. A lot of us try to lose weight, and we don't realize that some of the things that we are eating are bad for us. And also, something that we don't really think about, or at least I don't really think about, is tooth decay. We don't really think about, oh, well, that cup of soda or the cup of coffee with all that sugar is going to affect our teeth. So that's another health-related issue, because if we don't have good oral hygiene, then we're not going to be as healthy as we can be. So what I want to give you right now is some ways to help you cut back on sugar, and we can take the challenge together and help each other out when we see that we're wanting these foods, but we know that we shouldn't have them, we can help each other out. So one of the things that I want to start off with is when we're preparing meals, and specifically if it's a dessert, because of course we're not going to completely cut it out. That's not going to be possible. We can't really go cold turkey. We can try, but we're probably going to fail because we love sugar so much and we're just used to it. It's in our diet. So one thing we can do is cut back on the amount of sugar. So if you're baking a cake and your recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar, cut that in half. A lot of times you'll notice that you won't even really be able to tell a difference. Also, when it's available, try sugar-free drinks. So I always thought that artificial sweetener was unhealthy, but it's actually not, especially for diabetic people. It's not. It's actually better for you to have artificial sweetener than having real sugar. If you are someone that likes canned fruits, they are okay, but one thing that you can do is rinse the fruit so that if it's in heavy syrup, you're not consuming as much as the sugar. Also, of course, eating fresh fruits or frozen even. What you can also do is it is recommended in small moderation to use aspartame, sucrose, and saccharin. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not sure, but it's all artificial, kind of like Splenda or stevia. So the FDA does determine that it is a non-nutritive sweetener, but it is healthy. It's not. It used to be in the past that it was a carcinogen, that it would cause cancer, and there even was a label on a lot of the products. But as of 2000, that was removed because there was really no real evidence on that claim that it caused cancer. The American Heart Association also recommends no more than 6 tablespoons per day of sugar for women, and then for men, it is 9 tablespoons of sugar per day. So the men get a little bit more, of course, because sometimes their weight and their height. So I give you this information in hopes that I can help reinforce what you already know, how to keep healthy and take care of yourselves, but also because diabetes can get so out of control. We've seen that in some of our family members, and a lot of times what we don't remember is prevention is key. We can prevent all of this from happening, or at least lessen the effects if we take care of ourselves by having a better diet. So with the small changes, one little change at a time can make such a difference. Let's be the difference for ourselves, for our families, to teach us that we can live a better lifestyle by making these small changes. So for diabetics, if they consume real sugar, their blood sugar spikes up. But if they have that artificial sweetener, they can still have a little bit of the sweet, because we all have that little sweet tooth, but it won't have many bad effects on us. So I went to the doctor recently with my aunt, and she advised that she, of course, kept back on drinking Coca-Cola, and then we also said, well, she really likes to drink cranberry juice. And the doctor said, well, even cranberry juice has a lot of sugar. And I said, but we usually buy the one that has on the label no sugar added. So then she said something that stayed in me and made me really want to look more into it. She said to read the label and make sure that where it has the list of ingredients, if it says 0 sugars, but if on carbohydrates it has a number like the grams or milligrams, then that is not healthy. So that's just something to think about, to consider. Read the labels. It is so important to get an idea of what we're putting in our body. So again, one little change at a time can help each other to be better and to live healthier, longer lives. So I thank you for your time, and I hope that you choose to take the challenge with me to reduce how much sugar we have so that we can be healthier. Thank you.